Hello, everyone. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of May 23rd. When I was shuffling the cards to pull a card for the week for us, they kept falling all over my table. And that doesn't usually happen. And I literally had the sensation of things getting reshuffled, things kind of falling apart and refinding their position or falling away altogether, new things dropping in. There's this very clear energy of things are not the same, but what? And I've been thinking about that a lot with social media because I love what I do. I love the work I do. I love the work I do with my groups, with my clients, with myself. My heart is in it with what I do. My heart is in it with the earth, with the people that I love. And so there's a part of me that really wants to share that, wants to share that out on social media, out in the world, through these podcasts, through whatever other projects I've got my hands in. And also at the same time have this very strong resistance to Instagram in particular right now. Every time I go on there, it's loud and it's divisive and it's like sneaky shaming and sneaky undermining. So it's like all these like really insidious messages about what's right, what's wrong, how of course you're dysregulated, but the world's falling apart. And there's something about the messaging that's getting shared there that I find particularly noisy and particularly disempowering. I feel like even people who seem to have the best intentions around their work are kind of seeding this fear into the system or being triggered by this fear that's in the atmosphere. And so I've been really meditating on that and, feeling conflicted about pulling back on social media, not being inspired to post there, not being inspired to share there. And at the same time, missing the community that exists there, like missing the art I do find there, missing the nuggets of wisdom or insight or opening or inspiration that I find there. So that's been on my mind. And when I sat with it, I was actually sitting with this morning, just kind of meditating on it. And I think what I came up with was we are in this time of a great reshuffling. Things we thought we could count on would be there forever are no longer holding the same energetic value they did. There are good things happening. There are beautiful things happening. We feel so unsafe, like fundamentally, and we feel betrayed by some of these things that have fallen away. And so we're left on our own. Like we're left coming back to what's it like here? Wherever you go, wherever you travel, there you are. Like whatever adventure you find yourself on, you are the consistent, like you are the constant. And so I think part of what's happening is people are being asked to turn towards themselves to understand what doesn't feel safe here, what doesn't feel okay here, what feels like it's not mine to carry, what feels like it's out of alignment, out of integrity with the life I want to live, the things I say I value, the things that I say matter to me. And now it's like, okay, but are you living that life? Are you living that life? And that takes time and space and safety to even have those conversations, it's like the layers, right? It's what my body's experiencing. It's what I'm saying about what my body's experiencing. It's what my history and my trauma and the world are saying about what I'm saying about what I'm experiencing. And then ideally, you stay still long enough that you can feel the wisdom. You can hear the spaciousness. You can hear the wisdom of the trees of the universe of God, whatever you want it to be, kind of filtering through to remind you of what's really true. We get so carried away by our stories. We get so carried away by the myth we're weaving about who we are. And in some ways, there are no new experiences. Like everything's new, everything's brand new. And also, what you're experiencing, what we're experiencing as a collective, as a community, as a world right now, it's not the first time it's ever like bubbled up. It's not the first time betrayal's ever bubbled up, or the feeling of where's my freedom, or where's my truth, or where's love, or where's my community. These are questions that have been with people forever, been with individuals, been in the world forever. And so there's this like accountability required, this self like holding required that many people haven't had time or space to practice. And if you have, you're one of the lucky ones. Like you're one of the lucky ones if you can hear all that noise and find something true in it, like find something clear in it, not get carried away by it. So all that's happening, and I guess I'm just saying that because when I was shuffling and the cards were falling everywhere, I was like, "What are you saying, tarot?" And the tarot was like, "It's a great reshuffling. Like, calm yourself, Kirst. Like, don't get carried away by this. Like, you know better. You know better than to open Instagram and have people talk about how the world is crumbling and for you to let that fear carry you away versus saying, right, the world is changing. There's a great reshuffling. Who am I in that? What am I holding in that? What am I anchoring into the grid in that? What is my responsibility in that? That's different. Like you can have the same information come at you and you can feel it like a weapon or like a hopelessness. And the same information come at you, you can feel it like, all right, then let's get to work. Like, all right, then who am I in this? What do I stand for? What do I value? What myth do I want to create moving forward? So all of that's coming up. And then, of course, the card that tarot gives us is the hangman. The hangman card is the reminder that things are not what they appear to be. All that glitters is not gold. And the hangman comes to say, honor the alternate perspective. Like, honor the ways that you see things differently. Don't discard that. Don't get carried away by everyone like ignoring that the emperor has no clothes. Like, don't let the world convince you of what in your heart, in your being, in your knowing feels not true, right? Don't let the world dissuade you or persuade you or seduce you with these things that are loud and maybe a lot of people agree on it. Maybe there's a lot of reason why you should be like, well, they must know better. But like I just said, we're in this age of radical accountability, radical self-authority. Self-authority, not just because I want something, but because I know how powerful I am in the creation of what's next. So there's this really beautiful energy around the hangman always that says, wait. Like, remember those like things from the 80s, stop, drop, and roll? That's the energy. You're like, stop, wait, and listen. Just wait and listen. Don't take the first like note of the song, like wait for the hook, wait for the chorus, like just stay for a moment. There's something about the hangman that's always reminding us that there will always be another perspective. There's always another way to look at it. And we talk about this a lot with like shadow work or even with the work around the archetypes we're doing in Mystic Rising. There's this way in which what we're trying to do is broaden our perspective. And this came up maybe a couple of months ago. We were talking about some shadow work stuff in Women's Circle. And you have this idea that like I should know, but it's shadow for a reason. It's in the shadows. It's out of your line of sight, out of your conscious vision for a reason. And one of the most powerful things we can do is notice when we're triggered, notice when we're activated, notice when we feel particularly reactive, and just stay still. And what will happen is if you can stay still in those moments, if you cannot try to leap out of those moments, eventually you kind of begin to notice what's lurking in that trigger, what's lurking in that reactivity, what's lurking on the periphery there. And the shadow is like a frightened animal. It's been put in shadow for a reason. It's been shamed or it's been abandoned or your soul had to release it at some point because it was unsafe. And so it's almost like a frightened animal or a small child. You just kind of stay still. You just kind of wait. You kind of keep breathing. Kind of stay with yourself. And you just kind of wait and see. And eventually it will kind of like appear on the horizon line or on the periphery line, on your line of sight. And you just kind of stay with it. The hangman is the reminder of that because what we're doing is we're trying to broaden our perspective. Most of the world is so locked in. This is what is true. This is what I know. This is what I've always known. This is what I've always thought. That's the way the conscious mind works. It's like, I would like to reduce all variables. I would like things to be super clear. And the work we're doing is to broaden that because when we broaden that, there's more room for us. There's more room for our humanity, our wholeness, the great experimentation of being here in a body. And then there's also more room for everyone else. There's also more room for creativity. There's more room for curiosity. There's more room for the universe to step in and say, how about this? What about this? So the hangman is a really beautiful reminder to stop, to listen, and to get curious about what's different here. What do I feel and think and want and want to move towards that feels in conflict or in contrast to what I'm being told, to what I'm supposed to want to do, to what I'm supposed to like be resonating with. Back to my social media thing, back to my like confusion or resistance around Instagram right now. Part of that resistance is like, I know something's wrong. Like when I tell you my somatic awareness of my truth, of my reality, tells me there's something very wrong there. And then there's this other part of me that's like, but what else might be possible? But is it all like throw the baby out with the bathwater? Is it all bad? No, it's not all bad. There's a community there that's rich and vibrant and creative and interesting and alive. Okay, but there's also something very wrong. So my job, stay still. Like stay still, girl. Sit still for a minute. Just chill out for a minute. Push back against that sense of you got to get on there, Kirsch. You got to figure this out. It's like, do I? Do I have to figure this out? I saw the most beautiful reparenting video on TikTok. This girl was late and she was like talking herself down from feeling anxious about being late. And it sounded like she was talking to a small child in the back seat. At the end of the video, you realize that she's talking to herself. We have to watch how we speak to ourselves. We're having this experience, and it's such a powerful tool to say, I'm having this experience and I'm going to be gentle with myself. I'm going to be patient with myself. I'm going to, again, get curious with myself. Why does this feel like that to me? Why does this feel true? Why am I confused about that? Or why am I curious about that? Why do I want to move away from this and towards this? Like, I wonder what could happen. If we really do imagine that there's no new experience, I was saying that to my other cousin today. Gabby, is anything new? Is anything new, right? If there's no real new experience, it can be a hit to the ego. Like, what do you mean? I'm not the only one who's ever been betrayed and devastated by love. Okay, yeah, but you're not the only one. So what does that release you to do? It releases you to handle it the way you need to handle it, to make art of it, to like get curious about it, to be, I don't know, to like go easy on yourself, to take it easy a little bit, that no one has this figured out. Everyone's struggling on some dimension, on some level. And so what? So what's next? So the hangman is beautiful. The other thing that I'll just say about hangman is usually in the card they're depicted involved with a tree. I really, really want to encourage you to hear the trees right now. And I know that's something that I say, and some people get me right away, and some people are like, what are you talking about? The plants are the elders. The trees are the elders. They've been sitting here on this earth. They are gridded into a web of knowledge and understanding that we can touch it, we can hear it, but we can't quite, we're not quite experiencing it. There's a wisdom there. There's a truth there. There's a patience and a timing and a pacing there that is so soothing. That's why being out in the woods always feels so soothing, because the pacing of that place is different than the pacing of the human experience. I just want to encourage you, whatever ways plants speak to you. People talk about plant medicine and they imagine that you're going to do ayahuasca in Peru. And like, God bless you if that's your journey, and like whatever works for you, whatever door you need to walk through to find love and light and excitement and curiosity and hope in the world. And you don't need to take ayahuasca to have a very powerful experience of plant medicine. Plant medicine can happen with a cup of tea. Plant medicine can happen out there hugging a tree. Plant medicine can go when you put your feet in the grass and you just feel the earth, feel something older than you, more ancient than you, with a different kind of wisdom and a different kind of sensibility. Hear from it. And Maddie kept saying, sit at the feet of, and I've never really heard her say that before, but that's the way I feel about the trees, about nature. Like, sit at the feet of the earth and say, what can you teach me? What should I know? What do I need to remember? That's very much here with the hangman this week. There he is. Where do you need to stop? And where do you need to listen? And where do you need to just kind of like review what's really happening? Take stock. And it's a privilege. It's a privilege to have the nervous system regulation, the sense of safety and peace in your life, that you can sit still and you can listen. So I wish that for you this week. If you don't have that, I invite you to ask spirit, ask the trees, ask the world to help you cultivate that in your life. You deserve it. You deserve to feel safe and excited and free and inspired by what's happening, not steamrolled and like knocked out by what's happening. If you imagine there's great reshuffling, you can collapse into fear around that, and that might be something you need to do now and again. You can also be lit up and inspired and excited about that. If things are changing, how do you want to be? What do you want your life to look like? May you feel that as a gift and an invitation and something to get excited about. All right. I think that's enough about that. But the hangman is really just kind of the sense of reversal, submission, surrender, pause, listen, and just honor the alternate perspective. Like honor the alternate story, the alternative story that might be kind of floating around, even if it's just floating amongst the trees. Like there's something of value there. I feel very called to do the long form podcasts again. Why, Kirsten? You're so crazy. Look, I'm on video too. Like, who are you? Who are you these days? I don't even know because there's a great reshuffling. And I'm just trying to enjoy my life while I'm alive, man. Trying to enjoy the beautiful gift of my life and be here. Be here in a fluid, like resource, creative, helpful way. I want to be of service to the world. I want to be of service to you. I want to be of service to my children and my life and my art. How lucky that I get to feel that today. I get to be in that today. It might change tomorrow, but for today, it's a good one. It's a good day. And I want to start doing those long form podcasts again. So I will have one for June. Two other things I've been called to do. Start doing kind of conversations, interviews with people that I love and adore and learn from and get excited talking to. And I have some kind of fun ideas for how that could be like a little lighter and looser than maybe some of the serious interviews. I don't really want to do that, but conversations like salons, like curiosities, yes. So that's on my mind. The other thing that's kind of been on my mind is talking through some of the books that have really inspired me, some of the work that I use in my daily life with a little more detail going into depth around those. So those are like three ideas I have for ways this podcast might be headed. Or the other one I actually have thought about is doing live readings, like having people kind of sitting with people and working with the energy IRL. Those are four things that have been kind of on my mind. So let me know if any of that resonates or anything that you'd like to listen to. I like to listen to these kind of like meditative contemplations on the card. I hope that's what I offer you every week. But I also like to hear people going back and forth. I think we're all craving more authentic community. So if any of that resonates or any of that speaks to you, hit me up. Like leave me a little comment wherever you're listening to this or watching this, or send me a message on Instagram, or those of you that know me, send me an email. I would love to hear from you. And it's Kirsten@givingmystical.com. Honor the reshuffling, honor that that's happening, and then do what you need to do to feel safe enough in your space and in your body to be inspired by that, not bowled over by that. And stay this week in the spaces of I don't know and see what the elders want you to know. See what the world is actually trying to tell you about this moment. Sending you so much love. Happy end of May. We're on baby watch with one of my cousins. I can't wait for that little being to join our big, big team. And that's it. I just send you a lot of love. Mwah. Bye.